Pokemon World Championships, as of recording this video, are in 4 days, and unfortunately, I have not made my Worlds invite as COVID has kind of ruined that. If I made second place at NAIC, I would have made my invite, but that is besides the point. I want to show off the deck that I would have been taking to the World Championships had I have made, well, the World Championships. And that would be Palkia VStar Ice Rider V Max. Now, at NAIC, we saw Sander, the God of Control, bring Mewtwo v Union, and Palkia V Star by itself has a poor Mewtwo v Union matchup because they want to play with a small bench, so you are not doing as much damage as you wish you could. The only way to knock out of Mewtwo v Union is if you somehow get their bench to, I'd say, 3 or 4. Leon, Choice Belt, Quick Shooting, Knockout. That's asking a lot for that deck because at the time they want typically one other bench or no bench and just stall with a V Union. So that's where Ice Rider VMAX comes into play. This fixes your Mewtwo matchup because you do 250 with Leon, you do 280, Choice Belt 310, which is enough to knock out Mewtwo v Union. But you do gain a poor Dialga matchup in the process because it is Metal Weak. This is one of your main attackers. If you start it, unfortunately, that's just a free 2 prizes for them. So there is that to look out for. Aside from that, let's get on to the full deck. As obvious, it is a 2-2 Ice Rider VMAX line, as I just said. You do 250 base, essentially, because you're going to be discarding the 2 energy. If you also need, you can do Ride of the High King, 30 damage for each of your opponent's benched, so that does a max of 160 before modifiers. We've also got 2-2 Palkia. Subspace Swell is just a phenomenal attack. It is the best deck in format right now, well, pure Palkia at least. And Star Portal powers up Ice Rider, powers up Palkia, powers up Greninja, powers up Inteleon, and also powers up a secret Pokemon that we've got that you can see here, unfortunately, because TCG Live is kind of, well, meh for Pokemon decks. But unfortunately, I just have to deal with it. For the Inteleon line, Forsable, keep calling us the best one. Drizzile, Shady Dealings, everybody knows what this does at this point. Searches out the entire deck, basically, except for Pokemon and Energy. But you've got 33 trainers, you're searching out half of your deck plus some. And we've also got 2 Shady Dealings Inteleon. Now, no quick shooting Inteleon might be a bit strange, but you don't really need it. That 20 damage is a moot point because Ice Rider is swinging for 310 with Leon Choice Belt, as I said, and you've got Palpad to recycle it, so you don't really need that extra 20 damage from quick shooting. And even if it would be relevant, it would be for Mew, but you can't really use that because of Fusion Strike energy. So I'm just playing 2 Shady Dealings. We've also got Manaphy. As I said, Palkia's best deck in format. Palkia plays Greninja. Greninja snipes out your Drizzles and Sopples. So you need Manaphy in like every deck at this point if you're playing Inteleon, which is most decks. And for the Secret Spice, we've got Empoleon. As I said, Mewtwo, I am expecting a lot of Mewtwo at Worlds because it is an easy to pick up control deck. You just go heal 200, heal 70 with Cook. With Empoleon, this shuts down their stuff like Miltank, it shuts down Snorlax, so they can't really set up. I brought this to a league one night and I played against a Mewtwo V Union in Top Cut. And I won that matchup because I started Empoleon V and nothing else, and I could keep Swirling Slice, their Snorlax, their Miltank without punishment because Emperor's Eyes says as long as this Pokemon is in the active spot, which is why I started Empoleon and nothing else, your opponent's basic Pokemon have no abilities, except for Pokemon with a rule box, Vs, GXs, Radiants, those Pokemon. So this turns off Snorlax's Gorman It turns off Miltank's Miraculous Body. It turns off Manaphy's Wave Veil, but uh, Empoleon can't spread damage. Um, it turns off a few other things as well that I can't really. Oh, it turns off Soul Rock for Soul Rock and Lunatone as well, so you can just um, keep spamming Swirling Slice as well without fear of getting knocked out quickly. There are definitely a few others that it can turn off as well, but those are just the 3 that I can name right off the top. And also, it's a Palkia deck. We've got Radiant Greninja to get energy into the discard easily, and also consistency cards as well. Um, Also, Moonlight Shuriken, if you're not powering up Max Lance with Star Portal, you can power up Moonlight Shuriken, snipe out two Sopples if they don't have a mana fee, which is still pretty often, surprisingly, but it will be about 50-50 on when you can snipe Pokemon. For trainer counts, we've got two VIP Pass. Um, it's just an easy way to get an early start because you just search out two Pokemon with two basic Pokemon with this only on the first turn. First turn is the most important, so you want to max out those odds. Even though I've only got two, we've got copies of Arita, as you can see in the bottom corner. So it's not that hard to find the VIP pass, especially if you're going second. Three copies of Capacious Bucket. We've only got 7 energy in the deck, so we need a lot of outs to find our energy, and Capacious Bucket is one of the best ways to do so because it just gets 2 of our energies. So it's one of the best energy search cards we've got for this deck, and 3 outs means you can find it easily early game, mid game, and late game. So that's essentially when you want to use them. You want to try and find a bucket early game, you want to find one mid game, and you want to find one late game to close out the game, which is why we play 3. Two Evolution Incense. This is typical even in a deck without Irida. Sometimes you will see 3, but 2 to 3 is about typical, even if you are playing Irida in the deck or not. 3 copies of Level Ball. This searches out our Sobbles, Drizziles, and even our Manaphy for whenever we need them. It's very versatile because it can be a basic search, it can be an evolution search, technically. Um, Sometimes you do see 4 Level Ball, but I have seen lists cutting down to 3 because we've got stuff like Arita to search out Drizziles as well, and also Evolution Incense. So it's not too necessary, but it is nice to have at least 3 copies. 3 copies of Quick Ball. We've got the Battle VIP Pass. We've got Arita, so we don't really need the 4th copy. Um, but it is just a great card to have. Discard a card, search for a basic. Simple as that. One of the best cards ever printed, one of the most consistent cards ever printed, and I'm not sure what we're going to do without it once we lose it in 2023. We still have 2 sets to come, but you never know. 1 copy of Heavy Ball. Prizing sucks, no matter where you are. So if you prize like 1 Ice Rider V or 1 Palkia V, stuff that you have 2 of, you can just get it right out of the prizes right away. 2 copies of Choice Belt. This was what I was saying with Ice Rider, where you just knock out Pokemon. 2 net, reuse Drizzile and Teleon, simple as that. Palpad, recover our supporters. We've got several of them that we can just use more than once or twice, or even 3 times. 1 Tool Scrapper gets rid of Big Charm, get rid of Tool Jammer. Very versatile, and honestly the better Tool Disruption than Tool Jammer in my opinion. Just because there's sometimes where you want Choice Belt and Jammer, so Scrapper replaces the Jammer. 3 Rita, one of the best cards printed, basically Karina from Furious Fist, but even better because we've got Inteleon Engine, so you can essentially turn not a Rita, you can essentially turn Drizzile into pseudo Inteleon. 2 Boss, Gusting is broken as always. 2 Melody, accelerate energy onto Palkia and Ice Rider as well, just to get the attacks back to back, especially for Ice Rider because you are discarding the energy. 1 Marnie and 1 Roxanne. Disruption is like really important. Marnie for the early game, Roxanne for late game. Um, Obviously, if you combine them with Path of the Peak, you can just shut off a lot of strategies. Raihan, same thing as Melanie, kind of, but after a knockout, you attach an energy and search for any card. This helps you attack with Inteleon if you've already used Star Portal. It also helps you can attach 1 energy to Greninja, and then after a knockout, Raihan attach and snipe right away. Leon fixes math with Ice Rider. Blanked on the name for a sec. Leon fixes math with Ice Rider, brings it up to that magical 310 that we really need to hit, and it's just the perfect one of to play in the deck. Training Court gets back energy, Pass of the Peak shuts off a lot of V Star, V Union, not V Union, V Star, V Max decks. It does shut off V Unions too, but not that much. And to round out, we have 7 basic water energy. This is the perfect amount. Sometimes I do see 8. 7 or 8 would be the perfect, but I would say always stick with 7. And with that, that's the deck, and let's try and get into some games. All right. So we've got another deck. I saw fire on the sleeves, I believe. Let's call heads. Okay, I'm going for it. You want to go first with this deck. Going second is never a good thing. Even if you have keep calling, it's not that easy. Ooh. Ice Rider starts not awful, I guess. Um, okay, so it is just Charizard. This is gonna be easy. So you Capacious Bucket, 2 energy to hand always. Wiffle Ball, Sobble. Quick Ball away water. Actually can grab Greninja here because I don't need Palkia right now. Just draw 2. Heavy Ball. Alright, let's see the prizes. Napoleon's in there. I don't think we need that in this matchup. Both Stadium's price does hurt. I think I will take this just in... no. I'll fail it. Touch. We've got a good next turn. Airida for VMAX and Bucket. If not, can always just Drizzle for the Melody. Magma Basin, that's gonna stick for a while, unfortunately. There is a Moltres, which is... Oop. So this is just Firebox. A lot of fire attackers. Getting a Magma Basin, which is important. So Sword Crobat would be nice because I need to get that Charizard out of here. So yeah, even if I am hitting weakness, it's still a pretty tough matchup. Put the other Ice Rider down. Not Inteleon, Drizzile. Search out. Okay, do I have another bucket? I do. Okay, so I can go Arita for bucket VMAX, right? Yeah. Alright, just get a second game in. We've got a Psychic deck, it seems. It's called Tails. Now, just because they've got Win the coin flip, cool. Just because they've got a Psychic deck box does not mean it's a Psychic deck, but that's typical. Okay, so Mulligan here. That's not too uncommon. Just gotta wait for them to get their basic Pokemon out. One Mulligan. There's a card missing, but... oh, it's a Roxanne. Okay. Not a bad start for going first. We'll see what it is before we put down any Pokemon. If it's Mew. Blissey Cresselia. Okay, so 2 Rogue decks today. I think it's just going to be attached to Ice Rider, and pass. Okay, so they got a battle pass. Let's see, what do they grab? Let's see, Snorlax? Okay. If I had him pull, I don't really want him pulling on here because it's not dedicated to basic abilities, so it's not actively needed. But I guess it would be nice. And Crescent Glow, obvious. They're just going to attach to a Blissey. 30 damage for each energy attached. Not that bad. I'm doing 100 right now. So I need to go in with Palkia. Full Scrapper, not needed. So attach Marnie. Mm, okay, this hand isn't awful. I can go grab Drizzile. And then so probably just grab me an Arita for next turn. Actually, do I have any water energy discarded? I don't. Oh, that would have been great. But I think I'm just gonna grab Arita for next turn. They're gonna knock me out, maybe, or get some chip damage in because they're doing 100 right now. Yeah, just pass. It's a fog crystal, just, yeah, grab a psychic energy. Attach to, yeah, yeah, they've got 5 energy in play. Yeah, at least 5 energy, 90 more. Yeah, makes sense. What's in the discard? They just go with Palkia. Grab VStar bucket. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So VStar Capacious Bucket. I don't want to pass myself because I've got the abilities. They don't really use abilities, so I don't want to do that. And some space swell.